What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Dr. Boyce Watkins has decided to get some courage juice in his system. And of course, he has decided to discuss the Tulsa Real Estate Fund. And of course, in that particular message, he mentioned me, talking about he has attorneys, he has lawyers, and of course the same level of unaccountability that Dr. Boyce Watkins possesses in his rhetoric is still evident. And maybe you don't believe me, but I'd like to play an excerpt of what he said during his soliloquy, and then we will come back.
I said so, but what I said to people is I said there's an appropriate way you handle disputes. There's an appropriate way you have to handle disputes. And one of the problems you have is that with the Tulsa Fund, there were basically three categories of people. Okay, three categories of people. You ready? Okay, so here's the three categories. There are people who invested in the fund who are genuinely concerned about what happened to their money. I agree with those individuals have every right to come to every meeting and say, where's my money? What are you doing? I demand to have a say in this process. There's laws for that. Then there are people who are just curious, who are like, wait, what happened? Wait, Dr. Boyce is scamming people? Like, wait, how did Dr. Or what's going on with the Tulsa Fund, right? And those are the people that I'm also speaking to in terms of saying, look, here's what I know. I don't know everything, but here's what I know. And then there are the people who just enjoy the ride. They enjoy the drama. They enjoy, calling anybody doing better than them. They like to call them scammers automatically. And there's no proof. They don't have the evidence or proof. They haven't gone to the court of law. Because again, if someone is stealing from you, there's courts for that. There's police for that. There's investigations that can be done. There's lawsuits that can be filed, right? So my thing was, well, if you feel like something happened to you, then you should go file a lawsuit. Because if you understand business the way I do, what you'll realize is that there have been bigger amounts of money where companies have flopped and $100 billion in value was lost. But maybe something unethical might have been done. But the question is whether or not something illegal has been done, right? And again, I don't know. I can't speak on behalf of the Tulsa Fund because I'm not on the board. I'm not on the team. I never got a nickel from the fund. I put $10,000 in like Nipsey Hussle did. Me and Nipsey probably both lost the same amount of money. But at the same time, it's like there's a process for that, right? So my question is, are you going through the process or are you handling it like in a very childish way? A childish way is, gossip, innuendo, screaming and hollering on a YouTube channel. A more mature way is to go and file a lawsuit. If you have a case, you can file a suit, and that's what people do, right? So let me give you an example of a real world case where this happened. Anybody know the company WeWork? Has anybody looked at the company WeWork? Go look up WeWork. WeWork was run by a guy named Adam Newman, who was a very charismatic leader. He didn't raise, 12, 13 million like Jay. He raised actually probably about $40 billion or something insane like that. And he had some questionable governance issues. Like, I think he owned the license to the logo and he was paying himself through a shell company, whatever. Right. And he was removed. And literally WeWork went from a $47 billion valuation to a valuation of about less than $500 million or 45 million or something like that. So they literally lost approximately 45 to $46 billion in economic value. So what happened was Adam Newman was removed as CEO. He did not go to jail. They just said, get out of here. You suck, right? And that happens all the time. Now, in the case of the Tulsa Fund, is that the case? Is it a matter of bad governance? That part I don't know. Or is there, if there is criminality, then that should be pursued. Again, I'm not here to say that it is or isn't, because I just don't know. I don't know. I've never looked at their, I think I saw some of the stuff. Like I talked to Julian Gordon, because Julian Gordon's another guy I've supported for many years. And Julian sent me some stuff and he has a good case to make. And I said, wow, you invested a lot more in the fund than I did. So you probably have more of a say than I do in this. And you should pursue that. Me personally, I just really didn't have the time, right? So ultimately, what I want to make 100% clear, and I did a long interview about this on I Never Knew TV. In case if you want to hear more of what I had to say, I said ask any question you want because I don't have anything to hide. This is not my company. Ask me if you ask me about the Black Business School, I can tell you all about the Black Business School. I can tell you every single thing we did, every affiliation, everything we done. I can tell you about my business. I cannot tell you about another man's company because I'm not involved in that level. And so what it does also do is it kind of just says, wow, so you mean if I just say, hey, everybody go take a look at that brother's business over there, let's support that Black owned business, people are going to assume you work for them or that you're an employee there. I'm not an employee there. And so that was the part where I was like, I'm confused. And people are like, well, why don't you answer more questions about the fund? I said, I issued a statement. I told you exactly what was going on. I also did an interview and answered every single question. But for whatever reason, the narrative keeps getting pushed. And I know why it gets pushed. People like O'Shea Dukes Jackson and stuff like that, they will push the narrative that they want to push regardless of what the facts are, right? And that's unfortunate because now I have lawyers and lawyers are like, well, wait, that's defamation, right? So defamation lawsuits can be filed and legal action can be pursued. And I just want, and that should be clear too, because the truth is the truth and lies are lies. And so anybody who just insists on believing that somehow I was pulling the levers of the Tulsa Fund the whole time is full of it because I would have run it very differently. I wouldn't have, again, not to question how they ran things over there, but that's not how we run. If you want to judge me on how we run our business, right?
Dr. Boyce Watkins, I would like you to read the comments because basically you're upset with me. You're saying that I have a problem, but I would like you to read these comments, and surely you cannot believe that I have all these different YouTube accounts that are commenting under one video. So I want you to see what people are saying about you. Talking nonsense as usual. Stop scamming people. Okay. I went to his seminar talking about your ass, Dr. Boyce. Waste of money. Talk about the same thing he does on YouTube. Don't ever pay for his event. This is not me saying, someone else saying this. Solo Wise. Those tough PhD questions must have been easy. Then Travis, hit the reset button. Hell, you talking about that thief stole the people money. Somebody else says, you are scandalous, Mr. Boyce Watkins. Small City Adventures 2300. But this investment, you went and pushed it by saying how well he had everything in order. Seems like he didn't even try to make money. Was happy paying his friends and family through the fund. This will make it more difficult for people trying to attract Black investors. The nap time. You mean to tell me that you invested $10K into a fund because you saw a rapper say he was going to invest $10,000? That's Nipsey Hussle. The people that invested most likely feel you pushed the fund. Now you're saying it was a scam. Now you're throwing out your PhD, but you're not smart enough to research a felon. LOL. You co-signed his scamming ass. Boyce is crazy, like for real. Y'all are scammers. So Dr. Boyce, I don't know why you think that I'm a person that is damaging your reputation. I'm a person that is coming after you for such situations. When the reality is, Dr. Boyce, if you were to look at those comments that I have just read, that is what these people feel about you. And the reality is, you can talk about that you have lawyers, you can talk about this and you can talk about that. But see, Dr. Boyce, what you can't talk about is the fact that you did something with our people's money, and that is whether you were involved in the fund or not, you encouraged novice investors by your own expertise and financial knowledge to take a risk on something that was going to hurt them. We can't get away from that, Dr. Boyce Watkins. You did that. Now you want to make somebody like me seem like a hater, seem like I'm belligerent, seem like I am scandalizing your name. I am talking down upon you. All of these different things you're accusing somebody like me of. What about those people who are commenting? Are you going to go to the weak excuse saying, well, y'all are the ones that don't invest in the Black community anyway? What does that have to do with what we're talking about, sir? You see, Boyce, your name means something, or should I say, it meant something in the Black financial world. See, you're an entrepreneur. You can talk about me making my videos on YouTube every day if you would like, But one thing I don't do, Dr. Boyce Watkins, is I do not sit here, encourage people to spend their money with somebody who's a convicted felon and somebody who's a loser. I don't do that. That's not what I do, Dr. Boyce Watkins. That is what you did. Okay? I don't sell courses. I don't try to make money off of a people and then pretend that I'm B1 when obviously you are a B none. And you don't want to have any accountability for that, Dr. Boyce, but me also. I am also in the doctor class, whether you believe it or not. Might not be a PhD, but I went to medical school. I went to professional school, Dr. Boyce Watkins. So nobody is an idiot. Nobody is dumb here. Okay? But the reality is you're trying to take advantage of a people for your own benefit. And now you're upset because people are pushing back at that. So should they jump on the B1 Black First crowd because you said that they should? So you can also lie to them? Is that what they should allow you to do? Because you think that that's fun? That's the truth? The reality is, Dr. Boyce, you were associated with something. You put your stamp on it. You did that. So people believed you and then they lost. You owe the community an apology. Your reputation is horrible when it comes to business. Mr. PhD in finance, okay? How did you not know about this? Can we know how you didn't know? Or will you go out there and lie? All right, that's the reality here, Dr. Boyce. You let the black community down. Now you're upset with me. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, Jay Jackson. Back at it again. Club episode of the Celebrity Junk. Appreciate you for all you do. Turn the bell. We're out.